Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sharp Side Saturdays. We've got episode 39 today after taking a week off last week, ready to get back after it. Like I said on Twitter, it's going to be a total today. I like unders in the Weidman fight. Let's not waste any time here. We've got Chris Weidman at 39 years old coming back from a very, very, very bad injury. He looked shot 3 years ago against Omari Akhmedov. I have to imagine that he comes back looking even more shot in 2023. Who knows how his durability and his leg is? I hope that it's good, but you have to allocate a couple percent to that. You've got Tavares, who's also coming off getting knocked out in his last fight. He's kind of flown under the radar because he's not much of a finisher. But I think people are looking too much at historical data for this fight. He's fought guys like Duplessis, Adesanya, Whitaker, and in his prime, Chris Weidman is like one of those guys. But Chris Weidman, like I said, I think he's a shell of himself at 39 years old, and I think Tavares is very likely to land a knockout here. Also, Weidman, if he does get on top, he's a very dangerous finisher from top. And we might have seen Tavares, their ability starting to go as well. He's also 35. Like I said, I do think Tavares is the one more likely to find a finish, given the fact he's younger, he's more active. He hasn't had any injuries to speak of that have kept him out like Weidman has. I mean, guys, Weidman's leg. I talked to him in an airport a couple years ago. Very nice guy. One of the first fighters I ever rooted for in a fight. But this game is not personal, and I think he is getting finished here. He's gone all over the world getting treatments for that leg. It looks really, really bad in terms of like how long that took to recover, how many setbacks he had. And I commend him for getting in there. I just think he's probably gonna get knocked out. Who knows what his movement looks like, his reaction time looks like from not being in the cage for that long. Weidman had been finished a couple times in the last however many years. If you take a look back, I'm pulling up his schedule right now. Dominic Reyes knocked him out. Jacare knocked him out. Musasi knocked him out. Yoel Romero knocked him out. I can't imagine his durability has somehow improved since then. Like I said, I think Weidman's one of the all-time great middleweights, but I do think that this is not the Chris Weidman you're used to seeing or that you saw all these years ago. There's under 2.5 and under 1.5 out there. I really like both. I like under 2.5 up until like minus 125, and I like under 1.5 up until plus 150. To me, those are about equal. Just I do think it could finish in the second, it could finish early in the third, but because you're getting that big plus number, I actually think an early finish before kind of either of them get their timing is more likely. So I like unders in the Weidman fight. That's my favorite total of the week. Got an exciting card tonight. So any questions, you guys want to fire them in the chat? I know I was out last week, so definitely happy to hang around for a little bit and answer. Do you like under 4.5 minus 200 in the main event? I think early under at that price was good, or not at that price. I think early under at a better price was good. Not sure that I'd touch minus 200, but I do favor this one to end inside the distance. I would maybe target an earlier total. I do think this fight ends probably within the first 3 rounds. Maybe like an alternate at minus 2.5 or something like that might be better. Let me know. Favorite dog on the card. It's tough because I liked Andrea Lee at plus 300, and there's a lot of plus 250 out there. So I'll say Andrea Lee. I think that fight's closer than the odds indicate. I think that Petrosky line is a little wide. I couldn't be laying minus 2 something on a guy who's proven to have not great cardio, fought a lower level of competition, etc. Was expecting you on Blackshear. No, that was last week, and he just absolutely dusted Jose Johnson, which was sweet. I've been waiting to fade that guy for a while, and I feel like that was the perfect opportunity. Do you actually think Lee is going to win, or do you just like her at that number? I think Silva athleticism edge is way too much. Yeah, I mean, everything I do is numbers related. It's very little to do with like who I think's gonna win, so to speak. I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think it is a winnable fight for both girls. Natalia Silva, I get it. She's a good striking prospect, but her last two wins have been like absolute bottom of the barrel. Victoria Leonardo, not UFC caliber. Her only decent win is Jasmine Shootovicius. Teresa Bleda took her down multiple times, won a round, just gassed. I think Andrea Lee is much better and more well-rounded than any of those fighters. The numbers is way too big for me. I mean, Silva could win, but this is the first woman that Silva's fighting that's gonna be able to hang with her on the feet in terms of volume, in terms of technique. Lee's fought a great strength competition. I don't think either girl is gonna blow the other out. I think it ends up being more likely a close decision. Thoughts on Cheeto decision? No bet. If anyone gets a finish, I don't know the odds on that fight. You got to put the odds. It depends, but yeah, I think Cheeto probably has more finishing upside in this fight. Um, Minus 185. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I do think he's going to land more to the head as Munoz is more of a leg kicker. And Vera, a lot of times we see him give away around in the beginning. So, yeah, I don't think that's bad. Do you guys miss having guests for other sports now that football's right around the corner? Might get back to that a little bit. It's hard though because I don't want to bring anyone on here that I don't want to bring anyone on here that I don't think is plus EV. So who ends up exposing Gary at 170? I don't know. Could some? Yeah, I mean, here's my thoughts on Gary. I think so many people just like lining up to fade him, and they've like already lost money. I think you got to be careful and look for the proper matchups. Because I don't think he's like some fraud or anything like that, like people think. But yeah, I mean, once he gets to the top 15, top 10, it's going to be some really tough guys. Did you watch Tough? I normally don't, but I did this season just because I wanted to see McGregor. Anyone for DK price to stand out? Let's see. I usually don't even look at DK until the day of, just in case there's any pullouts or anything like that. I think that GM3 at 7,400 is probably very good. Fight shaded to the under. If Mearshart wins, it's likely by finish. I personally have conviction on him as an underdog, so that's probably my favorite for the week. Early thoughts on Kevin Holland versus Jack Della. I favor Holland. Yeah, I expect it to be a pretty competitive fight pre-tape. I think it'll be a striking fight. Holland's very long, tricky to get inside on. Jack Della, obviously good boxing. He's going to look to get inside of Holland a little bit. Let me see what the measurables are on that fight. Holland's 81. Sorry, I'm just pulling up these. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Holland has a 8-inch reach advantage here. He's going to try to keep him on the outside. Jackson try to get inside. I lean Holland as well, but this don't take it for anything major because I haven't done my due diligence on the fight yet. We are. Let's go. I think this fight's way closer than the odds indicate. I'll take one more question. Get a haircut. Zhang sub only minus 330 a parlay piece. I don't think so. That's a hefty price. I mean, Lamos subbed in her last win, I think. Was it her last win? No, 2 wins ago was against why is it against Michelle Watterson. It's just not worth it. That's a huge number. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Be back next week. Yeah, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the fights today.